Bad news is not final news. Bad news is not final news. You go to the doctor and you find out you have cancer. Will it be final news? Maybe, but not necessarily. You find out that you've lost a loved one. That's bad news. Is it final news? No, it's not. It's not final news. Bad news is not final news. Let me give you a text. This is Psalm 112, 1 through 8. Praise the Lord. Blessed is the man who fears the Lord, who greatly delights in his commandments. Notice, blessed is the man who's rooted in the word. His offspring will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in his house, and his righteousness endures forever. Light dawns in the darkness. In the bad news, light dawns for the upright. He's gracious, merciful, and righteous. It's well with the man who deals generously and lends, who conducts his affairs with justice. For the righteous will never be moved. He'll be remembered forever. He's not afraid of bad news. His heart is firm, trusting in the Lord. His heart is steady. He'll not be afraid until he looks in triumph on his adversaries. Let me just give you three. If you're taking notes, let me give you three things to write down about just three observations regarding receiving bad news. Here's the first one. Character matters for being able to receive bad news. Whatever you've cultivated, man, that's going to come out when you get bad news. Right? I've had bad news, and I've been down in the mouth, kicking rocks, whining and whimpering and frustrated and poor meing and self-pity. I've also received bad news and been, all right, we gotta keep going. We got to figure it out. I've lived in both lands. I'll bet you have too. And I'll bet no matter what, none of that bad news became good news. I'll bet it didn't just change on you. I'll bet the circumstances didn't alter. But you happening to it created a kind of environment. And down the line, it impacted the nature of the entire situation. Secondly, trusting the Lord frees one from being moved by bad news. When I'm leaning against the goodness of God, I have this sneaking suspicion that bad news is not inimical, antithetical over against the goodness of God. And because of that, I'm able to be immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord if I'm there. If I'm not, then I'm a double-minded man. I'm two-souled, waffling back and forth. Third, when your life is about something bigger, listen closely. When your life is about something bigger than the news you receive, right? Then the news that you receive doesn't define you. If your life if you get swept away, listen carefully. If you get swept away, that's an indication that your life is not rooted where it needs to be because your narrative is too small. Your narrative is a reed in the wind. Your narrative isn't rooted. If your narrative is rooted, then you don't find your source of identity in the news, good or bad. Good or bad.